Ah, okay. Ah, cool, cool, cool.
Okay, so we decided to expand on lab 3, so with a ball and these sensors. So we are making a game out of that. The idea is to make a space shooter without guns and to implement the time mechanic from the game called Super Hot. So when you move as the character, everything else moves at a slower pace. If you move, the game around you moves as well. So if you stand still, the game should move slower. So just to show what I mean by that, so if you start the game, you can stand pretty much still, and you can see that the ball that shoot around, they move quite slowly. But if I move quickly on the ball and then without hitting what the other one hits, so you got an extra bonus for that one. And you can see that in this case I got 2 bonuses and a score of 24, which is based mainly on time. Yeah, so you can properly show how high base works, like how we do the high score. You don't want it? Okay. So we have a scoreboard here. Currently, there is only one user that has been added because we have some issue on my computer, on my phone, and on Ken's phone. Well. So if I try to sign in, it displays the sign-in page like you would have expected, but it doesn't seem to get the information into the app towards the edges. So it will be easier for a limited amount of time. We also want to implement the negative effects. For instance, if you pick up this negative effect, the other balls around you would either grow or maybe your ball would start blinking, like you can't see entirely where you are at any given point. So it will, like for half a second, probably just not show the ball, and then for half a second show the ball again. So you are basically invisible for a few frames. Okay, yeah. So we can show the Google sign-in whether that works for him. Yeah, I can turn this off on my computer. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we're having some technical difficulties. It's not with our games, it's actually with the Windows, I think, or maybe just screencasting from. Do you network? If I have network, yeah, I do have network. Come on. Windows, operate. Like what? Of course it's failed. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Maybe you could just say however without showing.
Yeah, so Firebase, we uh, yeah, so once the user has logged in with the Google, it will save the user's display name and store it in shared preferences for later users. For example, once the user has played the game once, it will also store its score in the shared preferences, and based on that, it will store the score in the high score in Firebase. And if user already exists in Firebase, it will then check if the current score of the user is greater than the score that exists already in high score. it will first delete the score in high score and then add the new score in the Firebase. So that's how we did the Firebase thing.
Yeah, and Google Play.
Google Play integration, which is not working well for now, is that we have, as you could see, we have a button on the main activity or menu activity, which you click, and you can select the email you want to, Google email you want to log in with, and once you click on that, it will disable the button and store all of your information, or not all, but the username mainly into shared preferences, and yeah, disable the button for you. So you don't have to log in every time you're in the game. You only have to log in once.
Yeah. So I currently changed over to the other branch because we are using feature branches. So on my branch, it currently doesn't have the visual effect of bonus or effect, positive effect. So you can now see that there is a
Yellow
circle.
So the effect here is a shield effect. So the green is the shield, and it is supposed to protect you from the debris. And the bowl is usually green, but as soon as a positive effect comes, it becomes yellow. Or actually any kind of effect. For now, it becomes yellow. And yeah, that's essentially it. And the pink square is essentially a pickup that should enable that effect. So once you touch this, the pink square should vanish, and you should get the effect for some amount of time. Currently it's 5 seconds, and you're immune to collisions, and you don't get affected by them, and yeah. But for some reason, the longer the game runs, for some reason the game just starts lagging, and I haven't had time to figure out what is causing it.
Yeah, but that's only because that's only happening when we are using VFX. So,
Yeah.
So it seems like perhaps it might be that the circle that is drawn around is never fully deleted, or
Maybe.
garbage collected.
I have a intuition.
So any questions?
So when you were trying to pick up the square, like this couldn't, why?
There's something with the collision that doesn't register a trigger.
Okay.
Because I have a collision system where you enter within the radius of it. It should call back and have the camera essentially.
Yeah. You wrote your own
Go
collision
forward.
system?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it like on the edges, or is it on the center? Where is that point?
It's on the center, and for
The player is the radius, and for the box is the center.
yeah, it's a spherical collision essentially within the radius, and yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, it doesn't trigger a pickup, and it doesn't trigger the event. So to demonstrate, I just made the event start on the beginning, and you never get it again after. So we're planning to add more effects, like for example bad effects, like Elder was talking about. The beast can grow in size, making it more likely for them to hit you. Or for example, you can get faster, for example, time shifting, where the faster you move, the even faster time moves. Or for example, another good one could be, for example, slowing down the amount of time you shift, and so on and so forth. So we're planning to add more effects.
Do you have like a leveling that it's easier to play initially and then harder to play later, or it's always the same difficulty?
It kind of starts. We have a progressional spawning system, which spawns with one ball, and then for example 2 balls, and then after a certain amount of balls, it stops, and then as the balls has been inside and exit, they respawn. And so on and so forth. So it grows. So it starts like easy, and then it will progressively
Add more
spawn more and
Yeah,
more
yeah.
balls even faster.
Yeah, and the spawning of balls is actually accelerating. So we are adding to like this variable so that it spawns more frequently and more frequently. Like and the balls that exit the screen, they are immediately spawned again. So there won't be less balls at any given time than it was previously.
Yeah. And the losing condition is when you're being pushed out of the arena? Or?
Yeah, when you hit the edge. We were thinking about implementing a like animation for when you hit the edge, so that, but it might not be entirely. It might not be good because at this point, if I hit the edge, I can still like play, which is kind of fun to do whilst you like see the score coming to the screen. So
you mentioned when the app runs for a bit, it starts to lag.
yeah, but only on this current
That's
version.
only with drawing the
shield.
the effect.
Yeah.
And
So that's on a
Displaying
feature
the
bump that
icon.
hasn't been much into our.
Okay, I was
motor
thinking maybe like the allocation of more and more balls per like second could
Yeah.
cause it, but yeah, it's only effective.
We are limiting it to 10 balls, I think. But yeah, they move very quickly when you move very quickly, so it seems like there are a lot more. Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes?
Would you consider to implement some kind of timer for each game? Like how many points you score will you get?
No, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
I think something like that would make the game just a bit more competitive. Because I think it seems that you do really well when you can just keep on playing like forever, and that is well, not motivating, but but it is a cool concept. So I think that.
Yeah. The idea is for it to be very, very difficult, so you shouldn't be able to get more than like 30 seconds or something. I think that's where I am aiming for. Not really, because it's very difficult to hold your phone entirely still, and we are still having like a bit of movement on the other balls still. So if you stand entirely still, there will be 10 balls spawning at the same time, and they all move towards you because they spawn with a velocity and towards the person, like a vector towards the main character.
And also usually it's always that one debris that you didn't think about and knock you off, and the entire thing just goes and you're dead.
Yeah, like if I get hit now, you see everything start to move very quickly, and by the time you get to like 10 seconds or something, that will be almost a death sentence in terms of this game.
And it's also, I've also noticed a problem with the device speed, because on my phone, if I get hit, I die immediately. I don't even see what happens, but he's able to like cover. I've very, very rarely been able to recover. So it's also another problem. That's the thing.
Yeah, so for the future, more like effects and more tweaking so that it is enjoyable to play. Like currently it seems like they might be accelerating rather than just adding a velocity to the other balls when you move quickly, so they are moving almost exponentially. That's like, so it's easier if you go slower. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. So the next one is group number 10.
Okay, good to go. Yep.
Right?
Just give me a sign when.
Hello, we're Group 10 that is formed by Pina, Dominic, Sergio, and me, and Jesus. And we're the Group 10, we're also known as the Group Too Sober for This. And we decided to create Switcheroo. So it's a game, you know, simple classification, but it's a face-drawing game. It's a simple concept that can really improve a party or, I don't know, any social event that you're a few people. So the concept starts like this. A player hosts the game and draws something. Can be whatever. We don't control the mind of our users. I mean, there are some dark people there. But then he sends the picture to player number 2. Player number 2 sees the picture and says, okay, I think this is this, and writes a sentence about that drawing. Then that player number 2 sends that sentence to player number 3. Player number 3 only sees the sentence and will have to draw something about that sentence, related, trying to guess what it is. And so the cycle goes on. So the player 4, should be 4. Player 4 again draws about the sentence of player 3. And it's an endless loop. You can keep going forever. So you know where you start, but you don't know where you end. There's been some really obscure stuff happening in the playtest. You will see. And now,
Okay. As you see me, why did we build the app? Firstly, because it's fun. I personally didn't know this game. It was Stephen's idea, but when he showed us, it was interesting, and that's when we decided to do it. Second, because when you play the game, the paper version game, you have to play with the paper has to travel from one user to another, from one player to another. And with this app, you don't have to move the paper around. Basically, everyone has the paper on his or her phone. And no game will be the same as any other. What does this mean? The story is created by the players who play it, so every play will be different from the other. Audience, the game can be played by everyone, by children, adults, family, friends, because as I said, the story is created by you, and
Okay, I want to talk a bit about the technologies we used. We used Android Studio, obviously, which also means that we just used Java native, so no fancy web frameworks or anything like that. We also used Firebase for handling all of our apps communications. We decided to just use Firebase instead of Bluetooth or something because it seems like the internet is always more stable than any other form of communication because modern phones have like Wi-Fi, have an LTE connection, and LTE itself is pretty fast and stable. So we just decided to just use Firebase via the internet because that will just work, and it works. And we also use a QR code library because joining the game is done via scanning a QR code. So we use the library for scanning and generating QR codes. Our development process was as follows: user interface design. This was mostly drawing boxes on paper. Then basically what we did is instead of splitting tasks up, we decided to have like a weekend of getting the thing really off the ground in 48 hours. So we set all together, designed protocol and database, implemented all the backend action, like doing some nice abstraction classes for handling all game communication. Then debugging, improving the GUI, and playtesting a lot. Just for reference, the database currently looks like this. Basically, it's just the default Firebase database. It has a flag when it was last cleaned. Cleaned means throwing all the games which are older than 24 hours in the bin. And the game is basically, it has an ID, last update, and it has a bunch of game transactions, which just basically it's sending state information and data around. Yeah. The protocol itself, it's just, it's basically asynchronously sending objects around. It's all pretty nice and stateless and stable. Okay.
Okay, so as a future work, we thought about adding a timer for each turn. This means that when it's your turn, you have like a limited amount of time to draw something. Instead of now, it's just you just can spend like whole days or weeks just trying to draw. So we thought that it's not really intuitive, or just funny to play. Another feature we thought is kick out players if the game is finished. So this means if the app crashes or the host quit the game or something, the app just kick out all the players. So if they are not just waiting for the host to draw something or whatever. Adding another feature like notifications. So when it's your turn of drawing or just answer it for a draw, the app notifies you in the pushes you a notification in your device saying that okay, it's your turn to draw or it's your turn to write an answer. And the last one is improving the design because it's kind of rough design, but we think it's enough for because it works like we thought, but we thought that maybe it's better like having a really nice design. And now we want to do like a really playtest with some of you. So if I'm a volunteer.
No, because we don't have to build APK. We're just going to use.
No, but they come here. They come.
Yeah, but
okay.
no.
Oh,
they come here.
So we need two volunteers to actually play the game.
For once.
For once.
To try the.
Can be.
Please, not so much enthusiasm.
Another one? Anyone? Come on, doesn't bite.
It's really to play.
It's not Max Super, it won't take your data. Okay, so we have one volunteer.
Okay,
You want to be the second volunteer?
Sad. Okay, so basically this is what the game looks like. It's pretty simple because it serves one purpose, and we decided to just keep all of this around the purpose. We can join games, which is pointless on an emulator because it doesn't actually have a camera, and you can host games. So this is now hosting.
So just press join game.
Be my guest.
And it can be.
Okay, once all players have joined, basically this app is meant to be played at a party, so the host can just ask, has everyone joined? And people will just be like, yeah, we have. Then I just start the game, and oh, I'm first. The host is always first, so today I'm going to draw Jesus.
Okay,
Oh,
the proportions.
Yeah. I'm not supposed to tell.
Like.
So yeah, you have a choice of a bunch of colors, which is nice, and you can also clear and undo. This should be enough. Okay, and then I just wait, this didn't work. It never works when you show people.
We tested it right before. It happened this time, like
yeah, we tried like 5 minutes ago and it worked. This is like the usual presentation effect. Nobody's safe from it. Okay. This is not, do I have internet?
That might be the answer. It's kind of bad.
Yeah, that's a problem. It needs the internet, and this is like the most not internet room. Okay, I'm just going to talk you through anyway because you can actually single player this game. It's really nice.
We can try it.
Basically, if you host for yourself, while the internet doesn't work, you can just basically when the circle comes complete, this screen shows for the host, and the host can then decide to just go another round around the circle to basically keep playing forever or just end the game. So we're just going to continue. This is obviously art.
Something wrong.
Send.
This mobile, your mobile doesn't have Wi-Fi. That's why your mobile was second always. Your mobile doesn't have Wi-Fi on it.
We can just use my.
Okay, that was the answer.
Basically, I can just continue.
Yeah, now it works. Okay, you can come back.
Okay, let's do a real playtest for once.
Okay. Yeah.
Good. Host.
Nice. So we had the second player blocking the whole system. It's fine.
I blame my phone. It's all Sonny's fault. No, it's still not working. Something is
Why?
fishy today. I don't know.
I tried it.
Yeah, we tried 5 minutes ago. Well, I'm just going to finish this.
Yeah.
We'll be back with some stability testing. Basically, once the game is over, this shows host has ended the game and people get shown like the full picture. This is usually more spectacular because it's like 5 pictures and 5 texts, and then basically the last thing to do in our app is just share it with someone via mail. On a normal phone, Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp would show up, but this is an emulator, so once again, nothing fancy. And then we just go back to the main menu, and this is it.
Yeah.
So when the host draws, then one of the players will see the image, right?
Yeah, that is the point. But the weird stuff is that.
And it's the host who kind of makes the order of who gets next.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, under the hub, the host just remembers which player signed up when and just puts them in a list, and then it just
Drives the order,
yeah.
Did you show them? Well, once you finish the game, you just play it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I was trying to
just export it.
Yeah.
I would even show you some finished ones, but the ones we did draw while developing are all not safe for work, so I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's unlucky. Let's see one last time if it works.
Oh, it's just in my phone. I mean, my phone's been shut for the last few months anyway, so.
You want to try with me?
Yeah, maybe let's try with another thing. Life problems. The whole thing. Just jump. Okay. Start game.
How do you know?
I'm out. Really weird. But
Well, it seems like the internet's crashed. Internet's broke.
Oh wait, I didn't have Wi-Fi here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think it's because the spot is.
yeah, the dark spot.
Yeah,
if
the
we
dark
can,
spot.
if we can make it work there, we will just call you and say thanks. Yeah. Sorry, and yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, that's it basically. Questions?
Alright. So while you're waiting for the cycle to go to you on the app, it just says waiting. It's a little bit boring to just have that. How would you make it a little bit more fun for the waiting players to wait?
We could for everyone. I mean, the thing of this. Actually, in the real game, it's the same. You don't see anything. You don't have any information until you just waiting for that player, or maybe we could just say waiting for player 2, waiting for player 1, because you have a username.
Right.
So you could just say waiting for player X to finish. Because we cannot show information. That's the thing. You don't know anything. You're blind until you receive the piece of information. You have to guess what comes up.
Yeah, but we could show what's happening, because any client receives all transactions, so they can just show like Fessus is drawing at the moment, and then Dominic's writing, and so on.
Yeah. Yeah. Some phone thing.
Wow.
I don't know, I really wanted to do like one of these pay-to-win mobile games in the loading screen to make some cash.
So if you were to do it again, would you do it differently, or would you do the same thing? Or what have you learned by playtesting and developing it?
Playtesting the voice in the presentation.
Yeah.
I guess more time management, because we collapsed all the process in one weekend and a bit more days. So a bit more time for planning. Yeah, and maybe because we're all the time focusing on one thing, maybe delegate more. Yeah, that is another way. We're related to each other.
Any questions?
Yeah. And I get one, right? Points. Is there any sort of pointing system or high score system, or did you think about this in any way, or to incentivize the player? To come up who actually won, right? So who has the best point skills, for example, right? So did you?
Well, it's pretty much a non-competitive party game. It's just the concept is having a big laugh about the funny image and text combinations. So the We thought about it, but we didn't find any way to make it competitive somehow.
Yeah, and
because it's a cooperative game basically.
Yeah, we think like having like a drinking game. So yeah, when you drink and you're drunk, like you draw some shit and just having the logs and the memes. So yeah, it's not a competitive game. It's not a point-based game. It's just having laughs and stuff.
No, but if you don't incentivize, then you can end up in non-cooperative games, right? So where people intentionally don't want to be able to guess anything, right? So that's, you're implicitly doing some sort of incentivation. The question is which direction.
Yeah, but you're in a game to have fun. Like it's like a broken telephone game. Like when you say something severe, if someone wants to break the game, he will break the game, but it will break the fun.
Yeah.
Or well, no, maybe not. But and then you see the whole picture, so you see like, oh, you did it, or oh, what did you do here?
I mean, you can have a scoring system when a drawing is interpreted correctly, for example, or some system where what somebody else's did was interpreted incorrectly, or some other scoring system. Because we played the war game version of this game, and like home with the family, and at some point a gas can turned into a ballerina. So like yeah. It was like, draw a gas can, okay, drawing gas can. And what's this drawing? It's a ballerina. It's fun, and interpreting people just isn't easy when people suck at drawing.
Yeah, that's true. But that should be implemented by the own player. Like, but at the end of the game, the players should judge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like the app can itself decide what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, we can say like, well, I guess like ballerinas, that's correct, and then you say yes, and if it's correct, then it starts. That's a point to the player who has drawn the image.
Yeah, perfect.
And you can make it account that way, and then there are winners.
Yep.
This game is based on an existing party game, and the purpose isn't necessarily that the first word of drawing matches the last. It's the gag of the process.
Yep.
So where one player fucks up, that's the fun part. So scoring the game is kind of not wanted actually, because it is a party game and no one actually wins for the last.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the two proposals for scoring would be playing with either a feature or a strongly phrase, and the player on the final will make small failures, gets a high score, but jump out to their account.
There you can have multiple modes, but the base mode is for a fun play. Okay, there was one more. Yep.
I was wondering, how do you do the drawing? Are you using it from beforehand, or are you using that entirely yourself, or are you using it everywhere?
We are using Android Canvas, basically. We are selecting the paths. We save the paths in a path array, and we just convert everything into a bitmap. Turn that into GPJ. Yeah. Well, we create a bit64 stream. We send it to the database string, and then it comes back, and we turn it to an image. So it's just the canvas functionality of Android. We didn't use anything else. Yeah. So yeah, we're sorry. Yeah. So any more questions?
I don't think about the first question from my end. I feel that like the intent of the game is to have a conversation, right? So having fun and what you're waiting for somebody else might not be entirely what you want, because you want them to be discussing or using each other by saying like, you can't get what they say, so you get what they say.
Yeah, when you're playing it in the same room, it's fine because you see what other players are doing. But if you're playing it over the internet, then you're sort of stuck and you don't know. So some information what's happening would be kind of useful.
You can take like a lesson from
or a chat
from competitive games like maybe shooting games. Often in like loading games, like global watch
test out the main mechanic or the core mechanics of the game while we're waiting for our game to start. So you could have the same thing that while we are waiting, we can just draw that as well.
Yeah.
Or you could have multiple sessions running at
The same, exactly. I was thinking about the same, that you can have multiple pointers kind of going around at the same time. So while you wait, you actually draw an image for yourself to start the cycle. Yeah. All right, thank you very much.